We're back. It's always like a big thing when I come back. I take so much time in between videos. I'll probably start ramping up before, like once tournament season starts kicking up real big. We're in the lull period of redemption, which I will say I don't think it's as bad this year. We had the fundraiser, and what else did we have? A bunch of stuff from Tim, Lackey Grand Prix. I mean, when the new set comes out and we have Lackey, and we had the new set on Lackey sooner than last year, which that's exciting. And then the fundraiser cards Jaden made available on Lackey. Like that's awesome. Um, you can play with them in Lackey and not physically have them, so that's really cool. I love when just every card in the deck looks cool. When there's alternates and full cards, like that does look awesome. Because I want to make sure it's like, oh, is this too much? Like, are we doing too much? Are we trying too hard? Is alternate art, is it good? Is AI? Like, all sorts of stuff. I don't want to do a ton of AI all the time, just to preface that. But yeah, I just keep making these decks and they have all different full art and alternate art and stuff. And I love it. It looks great. I didn't use the serialized one, um, just in case people watch and like don't know the ability. But there's a new serialized version of Second Coming and Three Woes where it doesn't have the ability. It's textless, and we've seen that before with Son of God. Okay, so I didn't really this. I'm pretty sure this is cut and dry my Nationals offense. Yes, pretty sure that is. Um, I wanted to use an offense that could get rid of Three Woes very easily, so I used Joshua Sword. It's one of the best ways to do that. So I also wanted to clear out a couple things that I'm seeing people do in their territory. So I think Joshua's actually set up. I know a lot of people said beginning of the season, like Joshua's done. I still think it's a top-notch offense. I know the other part of that was, oh, well, defenses are getting bigger and Joshua can't handle them. That's crazy to me. Um, Joshua offenses, how they were constructed in the meta last year for the most part, no, those couldn't handle uh, big defenses. The whole point of Joshua is get rid of this chump stuff, like stop Herod's Temple. It was a good counter to Herod's Temple. Herod's needing Herod's Temple so they could actually fight and battle, um, and to be able to stop these little defenses. So the big defenses, you just beef up the enhancements. You're still limiting. You're still trying to do uh, Promised Land twice and teaching him parables. And then when you couple that with a couple strong rescues and protecting lost souls and restricting evil doms, you should be able to punch through. Now, this one doesn't have You Will Remain. This is just, even though it's a pretty fine-tuned 50 cards, um, it has a little bit of soul gen. So I try to look whenever I'm fine-tuning a deck, what does that look like? What do I need? Does it have soul gen on multiple sides? Like I always say, three ways if possible. And this has star abilities. This has Malachite Slave. This has Lost Souls, and this has Hopper. You could also probably slide in. You might be able to put in Covet over Prosperity if you wanted. For what some people are doing, like if you can get Covet out early. Or if they put it in your territory, usually what they're doing with Harvest Time is going to be negated. So this has the Soul Gen. It's 50 cards. It's fast. It's consistent. And I'm not really worried about Matthew right now. And what's crazy to say is I'm not really worried about Prince of the Air right now. We're seeing a lot of Greeks and Persians and 100 cards. Not really seeing a lot of Prince of the Air, even though he has this awesome new version. So you got to stop, choose a blocker. This doesn't have all the stops in it, but it does have some like lurking and color guard, shield, and then of course dominance. So you can combat choose the blocker, but the main reason I wanted to make this video is a card that I think people forgot about. I was talking to Psycho Nerd, not Psycho Nerd. Sorry, Psycho Nerd. We were talking. I was talking to Sorrow about this, and it's Kyle. Kyle, we just messaged so much that I forget your name on Discord that everyone else knows you at. But so him and I are DMing, and I just haven't seen Raiders camp. And Kyle's on a really good Daniel Babylonian deck, and what's crazy is Michael can just snag captain and ban to this whole offense. Since I don't have wall of protection, or anything that, like, I don't have the hate the light, I don't have the household idol, stuff like that. I don't even have Forsaken in here, so I don't have any anti-banding. That's why I say, like, it's still kind of a draft. It's not fully tuned to the meta. But I did have the choose a blocker counters, some of them. But what I really want to talk about was Raiders camp. I think this card kind of got forgotten about. Raiders camp came out, Babylonians came out shortly after. If your evil human captures a hero, hold it here. If your evil human is defeated, release contents to restrict players from rescuing Lost Souls this turn. So now I could have Babylon in here. If I bring in Babylon, I probably have to lose Shield. I can't go to 5 forts. This isn't posties. So I wouldn't want 3 evil fortresses. I don't like relying on fortresses. This is just where I say layering defense. This is just another layer of defense, like Idol of Nebi, Bad Merchants, Overseer, Sheol, Raiders camp with my dominance. This just all different layers. And then I can have what I do in battle as well. So pretty large defense. And with all this choose a blocker out there, want to be able to have some territory class stuff, like getting Bad Merchants down if I draw into that darkness early on. But getting Bad Merchants down is really good. Like I said, I could have Babylon in here to have CBP captures. I have Humble, and I have some CBN, and I have some CBP. But yeah, I love Babylon in here. So it just depends. Like a meta call for me would be Sheol over Babylon. Maybe I move around. I drop an evil character, or I take out something in reserve, put an evil character in reserve, and bring Wages of Sin, and then move Sheol into the reserve, and bring Babylon in the main deck. That's something you can do just one way if you really want that. But yeah, I don't have Wall of Protection, so that's something else that could come up here as well. It's just really, what do you think you're going to play? And with me right now, I'm vocal. I'm not playing any games right now. I released the last set to the team the other week, so I want to focus on that. And I'm actually getting I know this is crazy. I already started compiling the 2027 set. I'm starting to finalize the not card titles, but like scriptures, kind of themes, mini themes, cards that are going to be in that set. So I'm in the conceptualization, brainstorming phase of that set. And so I'm not doing as many videos. I'll write a couple articles here and there. I really like doing that. I wish I could just write more articles and be like, hey, here's the new set. Here's what we're doing. I just want information to come out slowly. That's all. So as I ramble on and on, a lot of the big defenses, if you get 2 in the battle cards, that's tough. One that's really good if they don't have Humble out. You got to watch for hand advantage. But if you can drop a Chronicles on them when they block with like a Herod Antipas and they grab a Futile number 2, and you drop a Chronicles on them, it's really good. Same with Glory of the Lord. So you can use your dominance. If Herod Antipas blocks, grabs Futile, drop Woes. Of course, using Woes as a choose a blocker counter, like Daniel comes out, choose a blocker, 3 Woes on Daniel, get the choose your blocker. So that's always good. And the other thing is having merchants out and doing capture when they search. If opponent uses search ability, you may capture their human to a land of bondage. But then Raiders Camp, if your evil human captures hero, hold it here instead. So it'll try to capture it to land bondage. Raiders Camp will kick in and say, yeah, I'm going to take that hero, that human hero. And then Overseer could also kick in. And negating heroes is just good right now. Withdrawing heroes is good right now. Trusted politicians for Persians, Jaden talks about with as a choose a blocker counter as well. Color guard. You should really be doubling down, I think. Triple down, like layers, stack it. We're not seeing any Crown of Thorns. Y'all are crazy. Golden Calf is good. I love Crown of Thorns. Some crazy guy used it at Nationals. A artifact that was in GOC that I think was a rare with a CBP on it, was completely forgotten about. And won Nationals with it. So Lost Child Found is the biggest inhibitor of choose a blocker. Tim talks about it all the time. If you want, you can play an offense that, and it could be Joshua. Like, it absolutely could be Joshua. You just got to watch out for like your weapons, teaching of parables, and are you using Lost Child Found? So I want to recommend it. But same with Daniel. Like any offense can use Salty. That's my point. Use Salty and turbo Salty out. Get Salty down super quick. And you don't even need to play Unity. Like, you can play Color Guard and Salty with ways to get Lost Souls out and just protect stuff in your territory. Not that you need to rush into Color Guard. You really want that out, I don't know, turn 2 or so. But you want to stack your counters to choose the blocker. And if you can get Salty out and stop their Lost Child Found, or give you ways until you get to Golden Calf or Crown of Thorns, like, do it. So with Crown of Thorns, their Res Revealer doesn't work, and their and it's CBP, so even if it comes in and stuff works afterwards, and their Lost Child Found doesn't work. That's a huge portion. Like, Lost Child Found makes so much of that stuff works because you put down your counters, and then Lost Child Found, boom, well, there goes, whatever, shield, wall of protection, and you're add to battle like Unknown Nation or something. So if you could stop Lost Child Found and you have some counters for choose a blocker, you should be good. And I ask people, like, what? How are you losing to 100 card decks? Oh, I can't get through the defense. Why not? At the end of their turn, they're at 8 cards. Why can't you get through this defense? Oh, it's too big. No, you're just not used to playing it. You haven't adapted to it yet. Offense is stronger than defense by far in Redemption. Even with me being the designer, because I favor defense. Offense is still stronger. Whether or not you think the card should have, negate, discard all, CBN, that's a different story. But they are out-resourcing you. Oh, well, they have 100 cards. Not when you attack them, they don't. You have more when you attack. The game is made for the offense. It favors the offense. Do you have hand knowledge? Are you eliminating cards in their hand prior to? Are you sticking to your deck and not making changes? Have you looked at other offenses? So I don't know. I'm not pressing for anything to happen to 100 card decks or anything. I do think we need to differentiate Type 1 and Type 2 better, but I want to see more from deck builders, and I get it. Chad and I spoke on the phone. We DM. I haven't seen a ton yet. He's like, I've thought of everything. Well, you're still playing 50 cards, so maybe go to 57, maybe go to 63, maybe play some speed at 70. Like, that hasn't been tried. Also, are you able to get rid of a bunch of evil characters? Because these 100 card decks are fast and they're putting down characters. Simon, choose a blocker, AOC, that's still good. Anything right on AOC is still good. So, not sure. I haven't seen offenses, just in my opinion. I haven't been as in tune. I'm always on Discord. I listen to people. People send me deck lists. I watch, content from Tim and Jaden. I see decks and I put them out there as well. But I haven't been playing games. But I'm not seeing offenses switch to just really punish these defenses. So Sorrow, I'll say Kyle, has a good one to where he plays Babylonians, and that's who I was talking to about Raiders camp. I was saying, he's like, yeah, I'm just trying to get rid of all their heroes. It's like, yeah, I like that. I think you should. I always say that. Like territory class stuff, bearing grudges with a curse active, play Confusion of Mind, and banish Daniel. Edomites, anytime you get rid of someone, it's gone. So the other thing is like, oh, well, Michael keeps them around. Well, no one's playing Chamber of Angels right now, so pop Michael in territory. They can only have one of him. So I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of adapting yet. So Idol of Nebi is phenomenal against Michael. So there's still more I think we need to see and people need to adapt to. However, I'll talk about Raiders Camp again. You know me, I always start with something and go down the rabbit hole. Raiders Camp. If your evil human captures a hero, hold it here instead. If your evil human is defeated, release contents to restrict players from rescuing lost souls this turn. Cool. So, does that mean we have to capture anything like in battle with an enhancement? No, we do not need to use an enhancement, although that works as well. We can just use character abilities. So, what do Babylonians have that can capture? Well, let's see. We have King's Henchman. So I'll put them underneath here. So King's Henchman, if blocking and another Babylonian is in play, you may capture a human in a territory. If theirs are protected, I can capture mine. And if King's Henchman dies, I just release my hero back to me. I also get a draw 2 or take an Evil Daniel card from reserve. 1, 2, 3 Evil Daniel cards. Betrayal is probably going to change to an Evil Daniel card as well. I love Betrayal. Storehouse and Betrayal is just good, but that probably should go to an Evil Daniel card as well, just to Henchman with Wicked out, grab Great Image, capture someone, play Great Image, even if they have Noah's Ark, Herod's Temple, if they're protecting their heroes, it's regardless of protection, discard all their heroes in their territory. I die, I release my hero back to me. That's a block. And while I'm trying to block while having huge advantage. Ashpenaz, he's in there because I'm capturing, and I'm running all OT, Humble counts as both. So I'm running all Old Testament and Ashpenaz, since I can capture, I could always have it. That's just another chump block where I can come in, do some damage, die. No, nothing for you. Depraved, that's a big one. The negate NT cards in battle, and then if you have brigade advantage, which can be difficult. I'm playing all Crimson, like a Melchite Slave will never be down. But I usually keep Medad in my hand. He always stays in my hand. So I will have Captain down, Captain, and then that's 2, Silver, Gold, and then Crimson. So I'll have 3. Pretty easy for them to have Brigade advantage. Maybe I'd see about a different offense that's Mono Brigade. But Daniel's going to be silver and white, plus they're evil, so I might consider like a Mono Brigade offense, or see what I can do about Captain. But either way, it's just another card to where I can capture. Babylonian Officials, they're amazing right now. You get that big band of Michael coming in, and you get ROP. Zechariah band, ROP, I think that's huge. So it's nice to underdeck too. If I have to capture my own and Raiders Camp isn't out or something, I can underdeck my own. It's not really much I'm going to do here to underdeck unless say like 3 Woes of Distress and then I want to flip it back into my deck to get it again. This Nebuchadnezzar over the POC one, so I get the protection, but I get the, if they have board advantage. So now if they have brigade advantage, I have a capture. If they have board advantage, I have a capture. And I can capture any hero. And it's CBP, so that's nice. So that's another way to go into Raiders Camp. So right now we have King's Henchman, the Depraved, the Nebuchadnezzar, and all the rest that I'm about to show you. Belshazzar's 1000. You may activate a Daniel artifact from deck or reserve, so I get to go straight to Idol of Nebi, which is awesome because then I get to ban to a generic. Kyle talks about this play a lot, where he goes to the other generic person, Wiseman, and then he'll go to like Siege Army and stuff. So that's really good, where I can just activate Idol of Nebi, but then I can bring in Siege Army. But evil ban abilities are CBN, but also just being able to go to A-bomb, that's another layer in a block. If I got shield down, I got dominance in my hand, I've got Idol of Nebi in territory, I've got merchants, something in Raiders camp. That's a lot. And then I come in and I flip a A-bomb on them out of nowhere. It's really good. And that's another thing they have to stop. And then I ban to, a 9/9, and what do you know? I got a negate, which is good. Definitely want to negate right now on a character, on an evil character. And then I can negate their human in battle. And guess what? If they're playing angels, I can just negate my own human. Capture it, goes into Raiders camp. If I die, I release all my stuff. So they have to negate, discard, take, bounce, Raiders camp. And that's hard to do against Joshua, because Joshua's sword's going to obliterate your stuff. Same with officiators. Like, hit your fortress, hit your stuff in territory, really keep you down. And then, of course, merchants. So anytime you use a search ability, I can capture. So that's just solid. And then Overseer, it's another way. This was kind of like putting repeat on an ability without putting repeat. It's like a pending. If your Babylonian captures a hero, you may capture a hero. Really cool. Love that ability. Being able to just kind of sit there and like oversee, like, such a cool title for that. Like, he is the Overseer. I wish the AI was kind of like him, posted up over like a hill in a city like Babylon kind of thing, and kind of saying, I don't know, over everything. But the negating heroes is great. So I have multiple ways to negate a good card, to negate heroes like that. Like, keep saying that's important. I have ROP, like I have Wicked, and I have an evil character that's regardless of protect. That's important. So you need to know what is important to how to block in this meta right now. Protection's big. So with Overseer, it's just another one that can go to Raiders camp. And guess what? If they get rid of Raiders camp, I still just can capture. I can just capture through stuff. Oh, also, Babylonian Merchants is amazing against these 100-card decks with these defenses. They're doing all these searches, and I'm just like, your evil character's captured, evil character capture, evil character capture, even if they get rid of Raiders camp. And if they don't get rid of Raiders camp, capture one hero, get that hero in there, and then all their evil characters, they go to their territory. They go to their land of bondage. Only the human heroes get pulled into the Raiders camp. So I think it's a really good defense, or it gives Babylonians just another tool, and Babylonians have a lot of tools. You could play, I think Babylonians are played a little beefier. I think Persians can play smaller, and I think Greeks can kind of play mid-size. That's at least how I had it in my head. You could always shrink Babylonians. You could always you can shrink all these defenses down to 6 to 7 characters and 4 enhancements with some in the reserves. You can do that to all of them. It's just your play style. Babylonians like to have their tools. Like, that was the whole point. You have Babylon, you have the idol, you have the fiery furnace. You have all these things in the story. Yes, Greeks conquered. Yes, Persia conquered so much of the world back then. Greeks conquering even more, looking at the story of Daniel, the book of Daniel in general, they conquered so much more. But when you look at the book of Daniel, how much of it was about Babylonians, and then how many obstacles they had to overcome. So when I design cards and I'm trying to think of that, how do I kind of tell this story while playing? And when you match up against Babylonians, you're supposed to go through the Overseer. And even merchants are cool. They're just perfect for Daniel Babylonians. Just slide them right in. But I could play the fiery furnace. I could Babylon and what Babylon uh, covered and encompassed, and then you look at what Babylon actually does. Oh, when I have an idol up, I can mess with my opponent. It's just something else they have to overcome. Then you have the idol in Nebi. So there's so many little pieces that I wanted to bring into the Babylonian defense to show how much the Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, how those people and really Israelites at that time, like what they were subjected to and had to do. They were pretty much said, hey, put aside your God for our God. And our God is just a statue of Nebi. So pretty crazy stuff. So that's kind of a background of it, of what I was thinking and why I wanted a few extra tools. And I remember when we were going through the set and it was like, hey, how many tools, how many like support cards, extra thing do Babylonians need? Like, is this right? Like, is this enough? Like, what do Persians get? We're trying to make sure it matches, but wanted to give Babylonians an extra toolkit. The enhancements are really good. I'm very big on reusing enhancements, reusing my card ability. So I love self-made, and I love Besieged by Babylon. Jay called me and he's like, "Don't make cards that do this anymore." Rah, 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 rah. Um, I'm gonna keep making cards that do this. I love this type of ability. However, I'm not just gonna have like a free top deck all the time. I know that, but you are going to see more stuff like this. I love it. And guess what? It helps against 100 card decks. Covenant of Time helps against 100 card decks. If I can reuse my enhancements, or maybe there's like a character that, like a good character that can bounce all enhancements played after battle, or bounce one after battle, like that's really good. If you can get stuff from your discard pile, if you could reuse enhancements, like we try to do that sporadically, you're going to see some more of this stuff. It was already in there in the next set. You're going to see it. There's going to be offenses that are just naturally good at 100 card decks, because guess what? They can reuse their own stuff. And I won't say too much, get myself in trouble. They might be able to activate abilities again after they've already happened. I'm just saying. So you're going to see more ways to combat these 100 card decks, and none of that was even me thinking, oh, I got to stop 100 card decks, because this set was already designed before all that. I was just fine tuning it. This is why it's called Tyler Talks. I don't know how long I've been recording. Let's see, 27 minutes. I don't even know what I'm talking about. The enhancements. I love negates. I love interrupts. Doesn't mean all of them have to be. To me, this is probably one evil character too much and one enhancement too light. I like having 6 evil enhancements, if not like a duel as well. But I have Chronicles and Woes, so I was okay with it. But I do think if I really was looking, I'd probably take out one of these cards, one evil character, and bring in an evil enhancement to keep it at 50. So yeah, we have Lurking for the obvious, choose the blocker. I like an evil character to just smack dab in there afterwards, whether it's a negate or like some sort of battle-winning evil character, like Babylonian Wiseman. Like anyone that I can bring in and negate, ban in and discard, ban in and get resources, banned in and banned, anything like that is good. So I probably would take out Betrayal for Babylonian Wiseman, because that's an evil Daniel card, to where one of these guys grabs one. The King's Henchman can like grab an evil character from reserve. That's really good. So especially if you're coming out with the Raiders camp, you come out and take an evil character and then die, and then you're still neutral, like net neutral on a evil character for Raiders camp. Like, yeah, I die, I release the heroes, but I still have an evil character. So we're probably gonna take out Betrayal and bring in Wiseman to have that additional character. And I probably would drop something, just drop an evil character in general and bring in an evil enhancement. But lurking, really good right now. Lurking's always been good. Jay and I have always said, keep lurking in your deck. People got afraid because Matthew. Those decks draw so. I never understood it. They draw so much, but it's like, oh, you don't want to get them going. You don't want to give them too much on turn one. I get that. Like, I do. But people were playing like 7 to 9 card defenses. Like, Nick Marshall wins. It takes us 2 years to fully understand a set as a community. So, it was just a completely different meta back then. But I think lurking. I say lurking should go main deck. That's fine. I talked to Kyle about this. He likes it in his reserve, and he talks about Matthew. That is fine by me. I think those decks are fast. Either way, I don't. All they're doing is slapping down like a Res Revealer or an Akeem. I don't see a bunch of board control with Matthew stuff. They're just pure speed and power. But I like my interrupt. I like my band. I love my choose the blocker counter. Besieged by Babylon. Negate a good card. Anytime it's just a broad negate, it's good. You'll see if we have like a weaker ability on a card, it tends to get a more broad negate. So it's not always, but that's one way to balance it out. Even like negate a card. So negate a good card. You may discard a card in a territory that helps for woes. But just being able to pop anything in any territory is good. Another thing that I was talking about with choose a blocker, because I was thinking a territory, when they put evil characters in a territory, usually like they're going to tribute. They can't do anything with that. They'll have it in their next turn, so that there's a potential there. But other than that, your Great White Throne is going to be bounced and stuff with Lost Child Found. So if you really want to stop choose the blocker, Crown of Thorns, get to Crown of Thorns quickly, and Salty, get to Salty quickly. Put down, I mean, that's going to crush Daniel offenses too. So put down Salty. I think Salty's in a great spot right now. And you put down these hard counters that can't bounce. Crown of Thorns and Salty, that's really good. But now you might not need Great White Throne, but Crown of Thorns Salty buys you time to get to Great White Throne if you want. Either way, just think of other ways to stop. Choose the blocker. Besieged by Babylon, just a really good card in general. Negate, discard, top deck. I mean, phenomenal. Especially when I'm trying to capture and I lose my evil characters in battle. That's why I have extra evil characters, but being able to recycle an enhancement is humongo. That's why it's not a battle winner. It's just a negate and a discard and top decks itself, but that discard has to be in their territory, so very good, ton of value, annoying card. Seize for Servitude, another negate, capture, so you get to negate their band, hopefully capture, but having that negate, that's a ROP. That's really, really strong. I love this card. Artwork's really cool on this too. Bound Before the Fire, also amazing artwork. And you got the pretty much like a scattered effect. And we were talking about bringing in these over time. Kind of like for different themes and different brigades getting their own, evil brigades getting their own scattered like effect. Maybe good brigades get that too if we see a ton of banding on evil. But we need to continue to punish banding. So yeah, you can, and this works on anything. I love this card, how it was designed. This was definitely like a team effort on how we pieced it together. But capture a hero or all heroes if used by a Babylonian in battle. And then cannot be negated if more than one hero is in battle. So this works for thieves and Edomites and animals. This works for anything Crimson. It is a CBN capture for all of Crimson. That's insanely strong. However, it only captures one. But if you use it on a Babylonian, poof, they're all gone. So really, really good card. For me, sometimes you see these cards in reserve where I'm trying to get the big value play, but I got Head of Gold in there. I got Great Image in there, and we have Mr. Reuse, Triple B baby, and then we got the Seized by Babylon as well. So I got a lot of ways to just capture. It's funny because Priest, like Melchizedek, Priest in general, Blue Tassel, stuff like that, just completely shut down Babs and this defense. They shut this down. Raiders can't capture defense. It's pretty funny. And then of course Seized, old card. Everyone knows what that one does. But I finally get to use it for the full ability. If used by Babylonian, you may take a site or a fortress and play it. That's awesome. You grab your thing, play it. Goes right into the Joshua theme. However, I'm probably not going to have any targets because of the Joshua theme. And since I'm not seeing a lot of Prince of the Air, you can slide back in Book of the Covenant and your gold, yellow priests, your Joshua priests, and bring that back in if you want. You can go right back to the old, quote-unquote old school Joshua offense. But I have another reusable enhancement, Scarlet Line. Just keep pushing a big band in there with Scarlet Line reusing and Lord's Army. Like, if you can mix and match what's needed, because obviously you can't really bring in, unless you're using a banding enhancement, you can't bring in Lord's Army and Spies at Eye, or I'm sorry, what's your name, Scarlet, Rahab, the Promised? You can't bring them in together with Lord's Army. But just being able to reuse an enhancement, having the negate that I can just always grab and have that at the end of a chain is really good. Once again, against these big decks, like I'm able to recycle a couple of my enhancements or get them out from my discard pile. What else? Like Self-Made. I can negate, and then I can capture your character to top deck this card. Well, where my guy, who can I capture, and how can I make that work? Well, I can capture my human and put them in Raiders Camp, my human hero, and then I can top deck this card. So I can win a negate war over and over against 100 card decks. Pretty good. Head of Gold. Ideally, I'm going to want to, I love playing this kind of stuff in a side battle. I could Faith of Gideon in here. I could, interrupt draw 3, play Faith of Gideon, stuff like that. But I think with these bans that are coming out and just being like, boom, I'm protected. What are you going to do? I think you could easily just come out, have ROP, and you're good to go. Great Image, just a card that hasn't seen play in a long time. Love this card. I've talked about it before on videos for years where people are just slapping down heroes, and even if they don't have protection, they don't care. I will say Tim continuously plays protection. He started doing double protection. I think Jeremy was doing that too. But yeah, that's just good. The thing is, one Satan seat, like Prince of the Air going into Satan seat on a Daniel band. That's amazing. You just gotta get rid of Captain. Like he's gotta go. You got to Christian martyr him in territory. Like you cannot let their heroes just go to the top of their deck. You have to reuse your stuff, not them. So get rid of Michael. Did I say Captain? Get rid of Michael. Kill him in territory. Stocks him in territory. Territory class enhancement. Whatever you can, he's got to go. As soon as he's gone, you can ROP that whole band. That's it. And they're gone. And they are gone. And that's for Daniel. We're seeing a ton of Daniel offenses. And Daniel offenses, they're getting lazy. I'm seeing it. Oh, I'm seeing it already. There's no final act. I've been saying 100 card decks. You're worried about them? Throw final act in there. They're going to get going. They're going to get their stuff out. Boom. All their evil's gone. And then if you don't like your hand, shuffle your hand. CB and ROP. Shuffle all their evil cards in territory. Like, it is just, it's good. It's great against 100 card decks. Any kind of reset is great. Let's see. What else? This stuff's Standard, I brought in Caleb's Sword for A-Bomb. I added Holy Ground for A-Bomb as well, even though it doesn't negate A-Bomb. If I can play it and then they go into like an A-Bomb, I'm protected. But it's I like the CBP on it, plus I like the silver gold, plus I felt like I needed one other like push, something that'll help me, and maybe that should be a battle winner. Lord goes before you. Is that it? But no, that's the purple white. The Joshua's, what is it? Joshua, good enhancement. It's the from roots. Or is it? The Lord fights for you. It is from roots. Even something like this. Like, that's your big boom boom card. So you got to make sure, hey, I'm going to discard all mine. But there's enough toys in Joshua to where you can, like if you're playing with the priests, discard an evil fortress and all evil cards in battle, you're good. Like you're absolutely good. Having Trumpet Blast and Hero, and then you go to the Bears, I think. No. You may take a good Joshua card from reserve. Come into battle, play Glory of the Lord when they block. They can't play anything. And guess what? You already snagged Trumpet Blast. They can't play anything. You can. You're a priest. So Bears and Trumpeting Priest with Trumpet Blast, that could go in here if I wanted to. And maybe like Lost Child Found comes out and I bring in Book and I do the whole New Covenant in here, spiel, and I do Trumpet Blast in here kind of thing. Like that's an option. That's the kind of stuff you have to consider when you're building decks and you're thinking of the meta. Okay, well, what can I do? I got to get around these big defenses. Look at Joe Schaefer's builds. That dude's been running like 12 good enhancements for years. That'll get through it. Look at how many evil enhancements. Look at how many evil enhancements are in these actual builds. And then look at what they're trying to do. I don't see anyone playing toss and CBN. There's some cross, but man, you can toss CBN and you will remain. You should be able to get through these defenses. I'm not saying it's easy, but the whole 100 card decks and I can't stop them. Well, how are they getting through? They're choosing the blocker. Choose the blocker. Well, I did. I had my counters down. They bounced them. Then stop that card. Chronicles, really good right now. Another A-Bomb killer. It'll kill mine if I have to play it as good. Negate and discard all curses, idols, and evil enhancements. But we're seeing curses and we're seeing idols. But this is really good, like I said, against the futile stuff. I don't have any protection on this Joshua band, but you could easily swap this offense out to Daniel and play Ancient of Days. I just really like Chronicles right now, but to each their own. I wanted to bring in some kind of dominance that I could use interchangeably to help with my offense. That's a little skimpier against these 100 carders. And I just like a Christian Martyr right now. It's good in this meta. Jeremiah, Daniel. Defender of the Saints. That might get through. However, I have two ways to negate Jeremiah, whether it's Overseer or Babylonian Siege Army. But if it's Defender of the Saints, not much I can do about that. So might just have to give one up there. But other than that, I should be able to have no problem with Jeremiah. Chronicles of Kings, if I'm seeing any honeypots, that's another one. Not that honeypot really bothers me with this build with Joshua. So I was trying to think, well, what's good right now against the meta? Well, there's honeypot, there's Jeremiah, there's choose the blocker, and I can just Raiders camp. This looks good. So I've been blabbering for 45 minutes. I'm not going to run through. Like sometimes I'll throw a deck in and shuffle. and kind of run through what I would do and stuff. But Babylonians are out there. I've already gone through enough about Joshua stuff. This is, in my opinion, a very good, very good deck right now. But even as I'm talking about it, it's like, oh, well, New Covenant can come in, some priests can come in. I could take Holy Ground out for Trumpet Blast. I'll take out Betrayal for Babylonian Wiseman. Maybe I take out a Lost Soul. Maybe Prosperity's out for Covet. Try to get their Distressed as quickly as possible. Distressed, that's another one. That's why it's in here. Distressed and Wicked, in my opinion, should be in everything. But I'm going to want to use my star abilities to play Distressed. I don't want their Res Revealer working. And I don't want them to harvest time into all these Lost Souls. So make sure my Distressed is out ASAP. Negate their Res Revealer, negate their negate neutrals in territory, and negate their Fools. So if possible, star abilities and all that, that they just kind of place them over there. But if there's any way that I can stop what they're doing, then I would. And then the last thing would be, I'm not running. If I don't want Betrayal in here, what offense could I play that doesn't need any territory class support? Clay. Yeah, like Spirit as a Dove. Use that in battle, dude. You can use that in battle. Play Salty. Play Clay. Clay doesn't need battle DOMs. There, I said it. Clay does not need battle DOMs. It is the strongest offense in the game and has been since it came out. It has all the heroes. It's got the most broad choose a blocker. It can toss the next in bands. No need to. You can choose the blocker in a band. Like, it's all the things where like, that's a little too good. Throw If Alone or Wall Alone, whatever. It's got a bunch of ways for protection. It's got I Am He, Root of Jesse. It's Wall of Protection, helps out all the meek stuff. Like, it's got so much, and all the angels to go to Matthew, and you're good. You don't need territory class enhancements, and now you're doing something like Salty territory class enhancements. Go look at Chad's deck. Why did he play that one? Go in and look at Purple Heart. Got 4th place in Nats. Look at that. I would not play Guardian of Your Souls. I would play Clay with the Purple Heart stuff, and I would play Nazi. I would have Salty down. I'd play Matthew, and I would try to get Nazi down quickly. That, theoretically, that's very good against 100 cards, choose the blockers. And then you still have Distressed and Wicked, and you still have a room for a defense, and you don't need all these battle DOMs like we think we do for Clay. We think we have to play Resurrection. I get it. Resurrection is supposed to be one of the strongest cards in the game. Son of God, Second Coming, Glory of the Lord, Resurrection. Like, these are staples in the Bible. This is why we believe what we believe. Like, if it's not for the resurrection, then who was Jesus? So, like, these cards are supposed to be the strongest in the game. However, Clay can still get by just fine without them. And if anything, choose a blocker, Spirit as a Dove, and what's the one? Love One Another. ROP, CBN, or Bart, convert, CBN, ROP, convert all of them. Or what's the other one? Underdeck them all? Convert and underdeck, I forgot. Clay's got a lot. So that would be another build, which I should probably put on the Discord. But I think that's enough of me blabbering. It's been 48 minutes, going on 50 minutes. I like to keep these things at 45, but I just start going on tangents. It's impossible for me. So I hope you enjoyed it. Giving all my thoughts out there for 100 cards, for choose the blockers, at least this deck, and then bringing back, hey, did you guys forget Raiders Camp's a card? We made it twice. Does it look good in this defense? Does it make sense? So hope you all enjoyed. I'm happy to do a video again. Fighting nasal stuff, sorry, so I had to constantly, either way, I always drink water during my videos. But yeah, let me know what you think. You can message me on Discord. I'll put this deck on Discord as well, so you could always comment. So, see y'all.